already know what it is. Live, uncut, unedited. You already know what it is. Live, uncut, unedited. All right, people, you already know what it is. It's live, uncut, unedited. We here for another day, another time. Chicago, where you at? Chicago, representing Chicago tonight. We're having so many problems here in Chicago. We want to talk about some good solutions. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Let me start shouting out some names. Y'all come on, check on in. This is live, uncut, unedited. Talking about Chicago. We've had 3 officers shot less than a couple of weeks. With a civilian shot. We shooting each other. And what's going on? JD, what's up, buddy? This is live, uncut, unedited, people. Y'all come on in. Come on in. The phone lines are open, 872-297-6389. Y'all already know what it is. Live, uncut, unedited. Live, uncut, unedited. Y'all know what it is. That's it. That's what it is, folks. That's what it is. That's what it is. All right. Burks, I see you. McAllister, I see you. Marquita, I see you. Melvin. Miss Rogers, Kanika. Rogers, how you doing? Tangi Watson, I see you. Tamika Triplet, I see you. Karen, what's going on? Macy. Tamara Johnson, I see you. What's that? Stapleton Darrell, I see you. Stony Thomas, I see you. Is that Isha or Alicia? I see you, Miss Smith. Darren Lemon, I see you. Jermaine, I see you. Oh, my God, y'all coming on in. Coming on in. Bob Israel, what's going on, brother? I see you. Xavier. Bob, come on, call in on me. All right. Palmer, I see you. Joe, my goodness. Hazel, Valencia, I see you. Joan, I see you. Robert Brown, y'all already know what it is. Y'all know what it is. All right, people, come on in. Y'all know it. Live, uncut, unedited. What's going on? Live, what's going on?
You know what a good solution would be, Martin?
Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord.
You said, oh, Lord. Shut up.
Lord. Oh,
you
Lord.
you know how the kids have child care, right?
Right.
The kids that's up to 12 years old. And it seems like, we're trying to reach out to the youth that are 13 to like 24. They need to have not child care for them, but money's allotted to them monthly so they can have productive activities. I think that would be a good idea to not necessarily extend child care, but to extend benefits to those age groups and possibly give those monies to those children directly in the form of some kind of bank card.
Okay. All right. Now let me.
But yeah, I don't know what to do about shooting the police.
That's a whole nother level, whole nother subject. I don't. Well, you know what? I hate to say this, but I knew eventually it was gonna come down to this. It's you can only oppress people for so long, and they're gonna eventually fight back, and that's what it is, people. Anytime it seems like we get a little freedom, here comes a policy. And if we don't obey this new policy, you know what time you got to go to jail. You got to be fined. Every time we get a little breathing room, it's always something has to be, I'm going to give you an example. And I know you're harsh on crime. But for many years, they always quote, you're innocent until proven guilty. But now,
right.
When black people exercising that right, that privilege, that law, now y'all letting them out of jail. What you mean they letting them out of jail? Listen, if a person get caught with a gun, let's just say that, not shooting nobody, and the judge get them an I bond the next day, and they get out and kill three people, That's not the judge's fault. The judge did what he's supposed to. They gave him a bond.
Right. And then it's the culture too. Like
Yeah.
in the 90s, I got caught with a gun. You know what I mean? I was 18 years old. I got caught with a gun. I got caught with a loaded 38. I had no intention on shooting nobody or anything. I just felt like everybody had a gun. I need a gun for my protection. And I think a lot of the youth feel that way. If, everybody is armed, how you just going to be out here with nothing? You know what I mean? But like my parents said, I eventually got caught with it, and it was 500 to get out, and I have a gun card now, but I don't have a gun because I got kids, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I knew it was something wrong when I got my gun card renewed, and it was a 10-year span because it used to only be 4 years.
Mm.
But when I got my gun card renewed, now they give them to you for 10-year spans, so it's the violence, the access. Everybody has a gun now because of COVID too. Everybody was expecting things to go really bad. So a lot of people armed themselves. So it's once again, everybody got a gun.
Well, let me just say this. When Obama became president on the first term, the white people went out and bought all the guns. Even right now,
Yes.
today, you barely can buy bullets. You go to these gun stores, oh, we out of them. We out of them. We out of guns. We out of shells. We out of shells. You can barely buy bullets. Anywhere you go, it's just like they always sold out.
And then
Always.
they always act like they forget about when those freight trains stop with all of those high caliber weapons. You know what I mean? On the south side of Chicago, they act like they forgot that happened. You know what I mean? I didn't forget about that.
Yeah, that's true. We got a lot of unsolved crimes. We got a lot of grieving parents out here that's upset about their loved one. The case have not been solved. So it's a lot of bitter and hate. And you got some parents out here, they want bloodshed. They want revenge. A lot of these parents out here, you have some of them like, they'll go bereave and cry silently. But you got some parents, they want bloodshed. They want whoever did that to their child for their mother to feel the same way. They want it. They want it.
That's sad. Yeah.
It's sad.
But it's a real feeling. It's
Yeah.
real emotions that people go through. It's a traumatic experience. So you can't always get people who are willing to pray and forgive,
Mm-hmm. Well, we've been taught that all our lives. I guess that didn't get us nowhere. Forgive. And don't get me wrong, people, I'm not against forgiving at all. But we've been taught that. But what I don't understand about us, I'm talking about black people when I say us, that we're so forgiving of others. But when it comes to us, we want bloodshed. We want a body count, a dead body, and that's strange. And we all listen to us. Now listen to this, sister. Now our young people downtown, destroying downtown and the communities as well. And we said they killing each other. They ought to get along, but the grown folks don't get along. So they only mirroring what they see.
They only mirror what they see.
Daryl Smith.
And if you keep saying these bad children, they're a problem, these bad children, they're a problem, they're gonna take on that persona.
Yes. Yes.
We should be more hopeful in our youth. We have white kids downtown, they just lower whacker doing all the car flames or rings of fire and all of that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, maybe we can sit downtown and volunteer our time and say, hey, we here with the youth to keep an eye on them and try and work from there. But I don't think they should be banned from downtown. Everybody has a right to downtown.
That's right. Well, let me just say this.
Yeah.
This is just my opinion. It's not in law, but I just want to say this while it's on my mind. We should never call our young teenagers animals. Well, you say, well, Martin, why you say that? They treated us like animals when they brought us over here and made us become slaves. They auctioned us off just like animals. They put in the Constitution that we are 3/5 human. But not him, but his property. Hold on, got another call. Property. Hey, caller, where you calling from?
North Chicago.
Hey, brother, hold on. Hold on. So they treated us, I got another call. Hold on, brother. I'm going to make my little statement. They treated us like animals. Listen, we get crumbs off their tables. The brother must have hung up. Hold on. Lord have mercy. Yeah, brother, you hung up?
There's somebody else.
Oh, I got 3 more people. Hold on. Okay, the 2 numbers look alike. All right, I'm going to hold my thoughts, y'all, because y'all calling too much now. All right, my second caller was a brother. I want to hear from you. Go ahead, brother.
Yes, how's it going?
All right, good. Go ahead.
Well, Brother Martin, man, I think we headed for trouble, man.
Brother, you talking about headed for trouble? We in trouble.
Well, the thing of it is, see, there's no end to this. And unless we take control of our own neighborhood and be able to love where we live, this is going to continue to be a very large problem. We tend to not beautify our own area, and then we want to go down by the beam. Now, that beam probably is a work of art, just like the Picasso. It may not mean much to people who say, oh, it's a beam. But to the artist, it supposedly means something. Now, it could be designed that is really not for black people, but we don't want to accept that. See, now, because it's not really something we like to talk about. It's not really a household topic at the lunch table. But at the Caucasian lunch table, man, they crazy about it. They was crazy about the cows on America when they put them down on State Street. And that stuff is designed for them. So what you got to do, you got to take the west side and make people say the west side is the blessed side and the best side, but yet they don't want to beautify it. But see, you go down there on the north side, these people got their stuff beautified. They got their stuff, they ain't got no grass growing up through the cracks of these sidewalks. And you show something in our area, unless it's just fairly new, we got grass, it ain't edged. So we don't like our own community.
Brother.
It takes work, man. It takes work.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes, sir, man. Go ahead.
Why you think that, brother? Let me just say something, brother.
Go ahead.
Do you believe in racism? Do you believe it exists?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Well, tell me what you know about racism.
Well, racism is like this here. People don't mind working with you, but when they get off work, they don't want to live around you. This is a constant. When that horn blew at 4 o'clock, hey man, they going west and you going south. This is a constant. They just got that one proverbial black person that live over there. The people on the fire department, they live out in the Adirondack. We live on the south side. This is what we like to do because we like to hang out in the evening. We like to be around the neighborhood. You go to these other people's neighborhoods, they're not like that, and they satisfied with that. See, and they satisfied. We a different set of people. But
hold on, brother. Let me ask you a question. What's wrong with us being different than them? I don't see nothing wrong with being different.
And that's why they wanted to stay. That's why they wanted to stay like that. As long as you stay over there and do it.
Listen, brother. Don't forget now. Don't forget now. History tells us that we've always had our own. Even after the so-called freedom of slaves, they let us go. They didn't give us anything. They didn't give us no land. I got to tell the truth, brother. Because you always come down hard on black people. But we got to get down to the bottom of it now. We got to say.
I'm only speaking the facts.
Okay.
When you see the traffic going out west, that's not a lot of black people. Those people are going out that way, and they want to stay in Berwyn. They want to stay in Cicero. They want to stay in Prospect Heights. But they don't want you to come out there.
Yeah, that's true.
See, they'll go that extra mile. They say, well, y'all got y'all land. This is the way that they feel. And they won't be able to walk their dog at nighttime and walk their dog around the corner at 5 in the morning. This is not the stuff that we do.
Mm-hmm.
See, and so what they saying.
I mean,
okay,
brother, let me just say something. Go ahead, sister. Go ahead, sister. Go ahead.
You still have to realize that they had 400 years of free labor, that they had so many different things in their favor for hundreds of years. So, yeah, they're able to walk their dog. They have generational wealth that was built off the backs of black people for free, where we didn't get paid. They got paid. We didn't get paid. And so
right.
it seems like, yeah, we're trying to, adapt and be better people, to be able to be in communities and it be a mixed community where people aren't getting robbed. But we've been robbed for 400 years. And so we just can't look at ourselves as savages, because if it wasn't for their savage nature, it wouldn't be such a disparity in income and in neighborhoods to where it seems like they're better people. Can I say something?
Yeah, go ahead, sister.
Let me tell you.
Hold on.
Okay,
let the sister talk.
That you told me, hold on while the guy was talking.
Go ahead, sister,
so this
talk.
is my thing. I just want to piggyback on sort of what she just said and what he said when he was talking about how we go south and they go west. All of that is systematic. So I'm gonna just speak on that and then I'll say another thing. But the reason why they're in separate neighborhoods, so like she was saying that they set it up where they can walk their dogs and stuff like that. We've been getting redlined and everything for years. So even when we try to move out or do better or get different jobs to be able to afford better, we've been getting redlined through so much systematic stuff that has been designed to keep us all together from the start. Now, I'm not one of those people who do like the whole race war thing, because he said we have things that we got to clean up within our own community. But as far as all this crime and stuff getting to them now, and it's getting to their neighborhoods now and things like that, and now it's such a problem. And like you were saying about, it's always been proven innocent until proven guilty. Now it's, everybody just want everybody in jail, and what are we going to do about that? But when it was in our community, where we've been forced to be in these conditions because we can't move out because they're trying to charge us more for the same house as another family on the block that's paying way less than us to run us out or deter us from even wanting to purchase that property. Now it's going into their neighborhoods now, and now it's a problem. But they made it so once we've done it in our neighborhood, now it goes out now. Where else is it going to go? So in my opinion, a lot of these problems could have been solved if all of this systemic stuff wasn't put into place.
Now, that's true. But now you have to fight for what you want, and you got to be very specific. You got, and it's got to be flourishing after you get over there. Because these people still want to be able to have their nostalgia days, and they really don't count us as being part of that. They want their history. And they have put everybody against us. So what I'm saying is that we have to take what we have and work real hard and enjoy it ourselves. I don't mind living in the black community. I live in the black community. But I'm saying you got to continue to love your black community, and if they got crime in it, you got to get it up out of there. That's if you don't want it.
I agree, but see, that's the whole thing, because I live on the south side. And I love my people, but I'm not going to lie and say I love my community, because I got to worry about carjacking. And it's just like now, I just ran to Walmart and I'm on my way back home, and I got to worry about looking over my shoulder because I'm a woman and I'm driving at night by myself, and these people carjacking.
Okay, hold on, Marcus. Be quiet. I'm bringing you in. Dale, I'm bringing me in.
Community.
Yep.
Did a lot of things, but that's not the way it is nowadays. They say you can go in and don't hold it against us because of what our ancestors did to you all years ago. They would admit that, but they're not willing to admit that they're holding us back now. They say it's up to you.
But that's a lie. But do you believe that? Do you believe that?
I'm trying to say that they're saying.
But
I think
don't
that
believe
would
that.
be. I think that if they want to approach it that way, that would be fine, but only after you pay reparations. Pay reparations. I mean, I don't understand still why black people can't get reparations, but the Ukraine can get tens of millions of dollars every week to fight a war that has nothing to do with America. They're not a part of NATO, but there's so many excuses still behind that to why black people can't get reparations. Surely we can get reparations if we can furnish $10 million a week for a country that isn't even part of the state. You see what I mean?
How about not even just the reparations part? Let's start with the fact that when a lot of those Asian Americans was getting attacked last year, and I think the beginning of 2020, when they did a whole deal against that, and we've been getting attacked for years. And again, I don't do the whole race war thing, but let's just call it spade a spade.
Yeah, I mean, definitely if Asians have protection, specific protection, through the, Supreme Court and through Congress, black people definitely need those same protections.
We've been needing it for years.
We are an endangered species at this point.
all right.
With the amount of homicides and genocide.
Listen up, people. I got one more caller on the line. Marcus, go ahead, Marcus.
You know what? I'm not going to say that I'm not a racist. I'm a racist toward those that's racist toward me.
Well, brother, you can't be a racist. Go ahead. I'll tell you that. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, I'm a realist, all right? These white people are holding us back no matter how we try to get up on our feet. If we establish our own little community, they'll find a way to knock us down. Chicago is a sanctuary city, not for blacks, but for Mexicans. They have came into our community. They have stolen abandoned property, and nothing has been done about it. They make up these little rules. If you're on Facebook and you go for a job interview, you need to shut down your Facebook page. But that's a recreational page. So what does that got to do with you? What you put on your page, how does that affect your work ability?
Mm-hmm.
They tell us how to dress. They tell us how to get our hair cut. They want to control everything that we do. But yet they say that what their ancestors did, that was back then. We still feeling the effects of what your ancestors did. Look at police brutality. It ain't stopped.
Let me say
everything you're saying is true.
Yeah, old timer. Let me say something. I want to jump in on what the brother said. Listen, let me just say, any white person that's listening to this broadcast, this podcast, broadcast, live, uncut, unedited, the reason why a lot of white people don't want to have these open discussions because they have to rewrite history. In order to conquer a people, you have to take their religion from them. You have to take them from their language. You have to take their history. We have been colonized, people. Trust me, the God that they gave us, a white Jesus. And y'all know that ain't right. You know what I'm saying? Well, y'all know it ain't right. Y'all know it ain't right. Right.
That's right. I agree with you.
Listen, then they gonna lie to us and tell us Christopher Columbus discovered America. How can you discover a land that somebody already living on?
Already here. Fact.
I mean, these are the things that they have lied to us.
But Martin, it's like the same thing in Chicago. Chicago has always been a place that they wanted from a black man. They always wanted it from DuSable, never wanted to give DuSable his credit. He also founded Peoria, Illinois. And so ever since DuSable, they never wanted to give the black man Chicago. Ever since the Fort Dearborn massacre, it's been blood on the streets of Chicago, of colored Indians, colored black people. You know, a lot of black people in Chicago are Native American, or at least a percentage of Native American, and people make jokes about it, but these are actual facts. You see what I'm saying? And so this has been going on since hundreds and hundreds of years, and still they're trying to make it into fruition to get all the black people out of Chicago. It's a major trading post still to this day. It's so valuable, and I hate to see what they're doing to the people and trying to get all the black people out of Chicago.
Well, let me just say this. Let me just say this. I'm going to tell you, this is the biggest threat. This is the biggest threat of the white man, and all others too, that we start loving on each other. Listen, it's not the violence. It's not the violence. It's the love. That's the biggest threat. It's the love, y'all. It's not the shooting, the gang banging, the drugs, and none of that. When we start loving each other and loving ourselves and accepting who we are, trust me, that's a threat. That's a threat. That's the real threat, people. Listen, why
That's
you
why
think
I said we need to try to clean up our own community.
Right, but listen, let me say this, sisters. You cannot clean up something that's not yours. We are a guest over here in America. We don't run anything. Only thing we got.
No, let me tell you something, Martin, when I say that.
I know what you're saying,
I only meant like us within ourselves.
I'm not saying what you're saying.
We on borrowed everything. Trust me, I know that.
I know what you're saying, sister.
Actually, Martin.
Yeah.
Actually, they are guests in America.
Of course. But guess what? This their house now. But they control and run everything. They tell us what to eat. No, they own everything. Go ahead, brother. Old time.
They willing to admit that. I hear, because some of them want to be connected to some type of pedigree. Now, I know them people, a lot of these people come from down south. But you can sit around with them and they say, well, you know, my grandmother, she came from Finland. You know, and then other ones, he came from Denmark. I say, man, you know, y'all just come from the south. You don't even look like, you know, Denmark. Or nothing like that. But they want to be connected. They want to be connected with Germany. Yeah. But what they're doing is they got a beef against us in many different ways.
Many different ways.
We have to understand that they are not going to accept, everybody's not going to be accepted like Sidney Poitier.
Mm-hmm.
And when they see that happening, they're going to start putting up barriers, like that brother said. If you start doing good, they're going to stop trading with you. They're going to stop saying, we ran out of bread. We ran out of pork and beans. You're not going to have the stuff to fix the community. They got it in for us in more ways than one. Those things are true. Now, a very important thing what that sister said about the Ukraine, but this is the way I feel about it. You don't hear not one Ukrainian saying don't give them nothing and that they don't deserve it. But as soon as we start talking about reparations, half of us is for it and half of us is against it.
Preach,
they
old time.
Don't give it to them. They ain't going to do nothing but buy dope and drugs with it. They
Preach,
don't get their children. What are they going to do with it? We need to stand as one and unified on everything. And that way we can get what we need. But when you divide it, people don't want to hear from Farrakhan. Now, I ain't talking about Farrakhan talking about the white man.
Right.
I'm just talking about in general goodness. Because most of us, when we get up, we just want something good for it to happen to us that day. And that's supposed to continue on throughout the year. That's the way life's supposed to be lived. But it's an uphill climb for us in the United States, but we got to realize that, and we're going to have to make the best of it. That's the way it's going to be, because they're not going to jump in bed with us.
Just to me, from what you just said, it sounds like we're in a war without bloodshed, in a sense.
Yeah, but we might not want to admit it, though.
Yeah.
We are.
We are in a war.
Mr. Martin, can I say
we don't want to admit it.
Hold on, sister. Let the other sister go ahead, sister. Say something.
Okay, so this is what I was going to say, because I'm trying to be really quiet and let other people talk. But I was going to say, when you were saying how we don't own nothing, that reminded me of during the height of the pandemic. Do you remember when they was moving and we was tearing up everywhere? Everybody was tearing up everywhere. When I say we, I mean Chicago. I'm not talking about us as a people. But we were tearing up everywhere, downtown and everything else. But they showed us the difference of who we are in comparison to who other people may be when they let up all of those bridges leading to downtown and gave downtown all that protection. They didn't block nothing and on the south side and on the southeast side. They didn't do none of that. But they let up those bridges to make sure those people downtown who were complaining didn't get any more looting. They shut down downtown. You couldn't park down there. They did so many things to show you the difference between how they value one people as opposed to another.
Well, she right.
She right.
Yeah,
I
she right
can't. I
about
can't
that.
disagree with that.
Yeah, she right
You know,
about that.
this is the
And I'm
most
saying another
racist
thing.
city in the world.
This
It doesn't
stuff is
surprise me.
off the mark. But I went to a Cub game, and when they did the 7-inning stretch, all of the people in the stands knew the Cubs song. I went to a Bear game. All of them knew how to sing "Bear Down Chicago Bears." What I'm telling you, these people are unified. I went to a Blackhawk game. They all are unified on everything. We have to be unified, no matter no matter how stupid somebody think it is. Those people know all of the songs to the team, to the Cubs game. They love the Cubs and all that. We got to love out what we do, and we got to take it as high as we can get it. That's the only way we're going to make it.
But
And
when we
quit
go
looking down on our people that's on public aid.
right, but you know what? See that? Listen, we so in danger because we don't know that we don't know. You know, a lot of people are walking around here. I call them the living dead. They don't know now. They just out. They're going about everyday life, and they thinking this is the way life supposed to be. Black people being poor, bad neighborhoods, trash all on the ground, gang, thugs, prostitutes. They really believe this is where it's supposed to be. This is how it's supposed to be. Seriously, y'all, we laughing, but I'm
Yeah,
serious. And white people at the top with the riches and everything, the boats and everything, that's what they think. That's what they believe.
That's true.
Well, our mistake is we got to quit saying this is a white man's world.
It is, though.
These kids will interpret it that if they own everything, we might as well dance to their tune.
Well, you know what?
We already.
Well, let me just say something.
I am in agreement
Yeah.
with that brother, and let me tell you why. My kids were born in 2008 and 2009, respectively. And as growing up, they grew up under Barack Obama as president, right? And so when Trump won, they go, oh, man, now we're going to have a white president? And I'm like, what? We always had a white president, but that was new to them. They thought that black people always ran things in America. That's what they were born into. You see what I mean?
Yeah, see, I never
And
looked
they
at it
were
like
far
that.
too young to really recognize the difference because they're only like 6 and 7.
Well, let me just say this. That's a great point, what the sister said. People, listen, they use the bully tactics with us, too. They know if we speak out, we work for them. They can make it hard for us. We know that. They can try to find something wrong and make you lose your house or your apartment. We know they use bully tactics on us to keep us in place. If the laws don't work, then when the laws don't work, they put us in jail. When jail ain't work, they use deadly force. That's what they use. They murder. So they didn't get this country praying to Jesus and speaking in tongues and all that, being holy. They didn't get to, they fought and killed and destroyed and violence. That's how they got this country. And that's how they got us in check.
And we need to recognize the role that black people played in that. We've been fighting for this country since the Revolutionary War. We were part of the fight. My grandfather fought 761st Tank Infantry under General Patton. That's why I'm so adamant about my civil rights and being American. I feel I'm more American than any white girl out here. What did your people serve in the military? Did they serve? What did they do? What did they do on behalf of the country? You see what I mean? And so, yeah, you could be from Lithuania, Greece, wherever you're from. You know what I mean? But I shit apple pie. I am America. When World War II went down, they had black soldiers, guards, all of the infantry, where all of the guns were, where all of the supplies were, because when they had white soldiers, the Germans could infiltrate. and they could take over. But they knew that these were legitimate American soldiers because only the Americans had black soldiers. You see what I'm saying? So don't ever underestimate your Americanism or how American you are. People fought and died for you to be an American. Don't never let these white people tell you because you black, you're not American. You are
You know
born,
what?
people fought for you to be here, you are.
You know what? She made a good point because I just sat and thought about growing up. You know, we have a lot of fights, right? We have our fight maybe when we're in middle school or grammar school, high school, and maybe a few fights in between that. And some are brief and some are a little longer, and you would say, hurry up and be over, right? You know, the longest fight I've ever had in my life is being black. That's the longest fight I've ever been in, and I'm still in it.
Wow.
Explain
And you'll
yourself.
be in it yourself.
Yeah, that's it. Sister,
Well,
explain that.
This has been an interesting conversation.
Yeah.
And I thank God for the clean language that was on here. Because sometimes people be on here saying stuff that you got to stop your ears to hear.
Yeah.
So this has been very interesting and very informative. And these are the type of conversations that we need to have so our people can understand. Now, we are Native American, maybe by way of Africa. But make no mistake about it, we are an American 100%, and we have the rights that the Constitution, the preamble, and everything else states. We have those unalienable rights, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness that should be ours each and every day. And we got to make our schools, we got to love our schools, we got to love our sports program. Hey, man, we got to love everything that we do and stop having all this doubt and think people got better stuff than us. Their ice is colder than our ice, and their neighborhoods is better than ours. We got to rid out the riffraff, and we just got to keep on moving. Say, well, bro, you not in my backyard. You can't do it.
Just because
Well, we
we
got to
poor,
stand in unison together first.
just because we poor don't mean our neighborhoods have to look like trash. It don't
That's
hurt to pick up the
true.
trash. It don't hurt to cut the weeds or pull the weeds up at the crack. When the
Nope.
city see that we care, they can't do nothing but the services is there. We got to make them accountable. Because you got people, I used to work for the park district, and I'm going to say it like this. Those black parks be on the list to be clean. But if you got people that's there, no matter what race they are, you got laziness in everybody. If they can get away without doing their job, they ain't going to do their job.
Mm-hmm.
And if the community don't rise up and say, hey, y'all ain't cut the grass in Ogden Park, or y'all ain't cut it right, the basketball court got glass on it. We want that up. We're
Right.
paying y'all. You can control how the police your neighborhood, but our people are not unified.
What they
Well,
don't.
That's why I
But-
said we got to get
but-
in unison
But
first.
see, the thing
because
is, y'all, we
until
don't.
we stop being against each other, how we gonna do
But we
something
don't-
outside of that?
But we don't know. See, the thing is, people, we don't know that we don't know. We always use this word accountable. How you hold somebody accountable? Okay, you voted them in office. Now we got to wait 2 years to hold them accountable again, or 4 years. It's something that has to be done in between that. If that means that we have to go in front of their house with some signs and call them traitors, liars, whatever, march in front of their house and say, hey, y'all can't do this to us. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm tired of waiting on. We
And
vote.
you know what, though, Martin?
Go ahead.
And I remember when you guys did the protest when they let out Officer Van Dyke, right? And you
Right.
wanted the Department of Justice to intervene. I want our people to learn more about the power of the pen. You know, you can look at the violence on the street and tell we know the power of the sword. We need the power of the pen. We need to take our pens and we need to demand justice. We need to make sure that John Losh knows that 1 million black people in Chicago wants the Department of Justice to intervene and step in and implement charges. You know, we need to start doing things in writing. You know how people say, get everything in writing, do everything, and it's so important because you have a paper trail. They cannot ignore the fact that all of these African Americans are sending things in to the Department of Justice, to the Attorney General. And
Sister.
so all of this money that they've
Sister,
implemented for violence just this year for this summer. The county with 28 million they're just giving
sister,
away.
I'm gonna have to
Chicago's
stop you
giving
right.
away.
I'm gonna
But
have to,
how
sister,
much is getting
sister,
to the youth?
I can't let you overtalk me now. I'm gonna have to stop you right there. I gave you enough time now. Now listen. Now listen. Let me help you out a little bit. We can do all what you just said. We have done it. But as long as we got people that's in love with the almighty dollar and willing to have a secret backdoor meeting to sell out and quiet the people
Go ahead,
down,
Mark.
and that's where we at, sister. We've got a lot of accomplished, but some of those same activists that you seen out there 2 or 3 years ago that was on fire, look at them now. They living high on the horse. They quiet. You know, you barely hear from them. They don't talk like that no more. I'm telling you, sister, their fire has been put out with the almighty dollar.
You ain't never.
I'm telling the truth.
I've seen the Black Lives Matter mansion.
I'm telling you. We ain't even got to go Black Lives. We can go right here in the city of Chicago. You can look at some of these
You ain't
activists.
even got to go to Black Lives Matter.
Right. They listen, sister. They quiet. You can't even get them to say I love black people. You can't. They done got proper now. They got suit ties on. They're important. They have been in the room with the master, sitting at the table. How has that benefited us? Now, don't get me wrong. You can sit at the table with the master, but you better come back and bring us some of that too. Tell her what's going on. That ain't for just you and your family. And that's what people have done. People, they have sold us out. Every time it seemed like the fire get to burning, and I'm not talking about looting. Here comes somebody, they get paid, cool off, get paid off. You know what? So and so, you're different from the rest of them. I like you. You want to go on vacation? We got 10,000. I got a special program over here. I'm gonna write you a grant, and you can get this. That's what we hear, people. Listen, the scripture said the love of money is the root of all evil. Listen.
You see a lot of them, you don't even see them unless it's a really high profile case where they can get some publicity, and then that's when they show up. All that's they praying with the family and singing hymns. But right in our neighborhood or in the other neighborhoods where a lot more going on than them high profile cases, you don't hear from them.
See,
And a lot of black leadership is self-appointed. They're self-appointed leaders. We don't necessarily appoint them as the leader to speak for all black people. They're self-appointed, and they're able to, make selfish moves.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Mark.
I'm going to say it like this. The white media made some of these so-called activists here in Chicago to speak for black people, but they don't speak for all black people. And and you're right, Mark. They're in that secret room getting paid off. They putting on the hits. Chicago is a reality show.
And I'm gonna tell you, so I'm gonna tell y'all something. Let you talk, OG. I've been following some of these people for 5 years. I got documentation on them, video on them. I'm telling you, 5 years I've been following a lot of these so-called leaders, and I have watched them and watched them and watched them, and I've seen the change. It's like the more money they get, the quieter they become. The quieter they become. How we gonna wait till the last 2 weeks before this man get out and start rallying? Come on, people, make it make sense.
Well, see, what these people did was you take the Black Lives Matter group. Even before it became a banner with Black Lives Matter, people was protesting police brutality.
Yes.
Okay, to me, I don't have no problem with Black Lives Matter, even if you just say it. But now they got the black people, because they can point out a couple of things that the people got some houses. Now they done turned black people against Black Lives Matter. And we saying more negative things about it. And yet at the same time,
I agree with you.
The people that did the ice bucket challenge, I guarantee you a bunch of those white people got a bunch of money from it. Nobody didn't say nothing about it. You see,
but Black Lives Matter didn't show up for the black babies who were killed and slaughtered. I don't care if
but hold on, sister. Hold on, sister.
If Black Lives Matter matter.
Let me say something to you. Oh, go ahead, old timer. Go ahead.
Well, what I'm saying is that the Black Lives Matter was only saying that black lives do matter as well.
When you got a lawsuit against the police.
against the police. But it just evolved into a much larger thing where you was able to hook other things up to it. But when they were saying Black Lives Matter, it was saying, what about these black people that got killed? What about that young black boy that got killed? Matter? What about Tamir Rice? They were talking about stuff like that, but now the people that took and made the black people go against their own thing. See, look what kind of house they got. They talking about Black Lives Matter, and look what kind of house they living in. So now black people is against Black Lives Matter, and the same thing is happening to our people. Now you ain't got nobody to stand for it.
Yeah, because I'm gonna tell you, let me just say this: Black Lives Matter. Let me just say that. Let me just say that, y'all. Hey, y'all, let me talk real quick. Black Lives Matter was a threat to this country, and still is a threat. Listen, Black lives do matter to me. You know, so we all not. Just like when you say white supremacists, that's not every white person, though. That's a white supremacist. When you say Black Lives Matter, we might not be a part of the organization, but I am black, and Black lives do matter to me. I ain't gonna never stop saying Black Lives Matter. I don't care what nobody say. I know the very organization is a feminist organization. I know that. They took the name Black Lives Matter and hid behind black pain. Now, it started off great, but we know what the end results are. But I'm not against Black Lives Matter, period. When I say the organization, that's totally different. She have a $2 million house, I don't care, it ain't got nothing to do with me. But my thing is Black lives do matter to me, and I'm going to say it, and I ain't going to let no white person tell me not to say it. Discourage me from saying it.
Black person.
See, but they took and put abortion in there, talking about Black Lives Matter, talking about they back in abortion, but yet at the same time, when they talking about overturning Roe v. Wade, you don't see that many black people out there, but you see a whole lot of white people out there.
Yeah.
Now, where are all the black people at now? How come they not going against those white people out there? You know, how come they not showing up and say, y'all need to go somewhere and sit down? But as soon as Black Lives Matter come, they start talking about, well, you know, Black Lives Matter, they're against abortion. And start bringing out the weak side of the program. But the white people is the one that's really trying to keep those laws going. And that's why they fight about these gun laws. It's not
they want to keep their eugenic movement going.
Huh?
They want to keep their eugenic movement going. Black women are the ones showing up at the abortion clinic more so than anyone, because you're basing, you know, on a reality that you may not have the financial means. It's always mostly a financial decision that a black woman has to make when she's making the decision to have an abortion. You know,
black people do wrong things too, like other people.
Oh, absolutely.
They commit fornication and they don't know that they're pregnant until after a while. They say, well, I can't have no baby. They don't want the baby.
But see, I'm pro-life because everybody who has a pro-choice decision, I feel, you have to be alive to have that. And so you should, you know, reverence life a little more. I understand extreme circumstances and things like that, but life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness, right, it's in the Constitution. And so if you're going to, you know, decide when life starts in the egg, as an egg or as an embryo or fetus, and when you're born, you know, that's, you know, a big decision right now. But I believe life.
Hold on, let me say something with the sister. I'm agreeing with my sister. Let me say this. Now, if I go shoot a pregnant woman, that don't matter. It doesn't matter how many months pregnant she is. They're gonna charge me with a double murder.
Yes.
Can I get a witness?
That's I agree with you.
Yeah, they're gonna charge me with a double 100%. Murder.
Yes, sir. You're right. But what I'm saying is that the white people out there that's fighting for abortion now, they're not fighting for it so black people can continue to have it. They're fighting for it because they just want to keep the law. Now, if black people want to go and have an abortion, they're going to say, okay, well, go ahead and have it. But these laws are for them.
No, well, I take it. Hold on, brother. Let me say something now. Margaret Sanger, she discovered that stuff. That abortion was for black people. That's what it's for, originally for, to control the eugenics, to control the race of people, black people, the birth and the death. That's what that was for. That's what that was for, brother.
I mean, is that documented?
Yeah, that's documented. She discussed. She the one. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir. Margaret Sanger. When you get off live
In
here,
the eugenics
yeah,
movement.
yeah, yeah, made for black people.
So you saying that black people are playing into their hands then?
Yes, yeah. But see, listen.
Well, I want to say it is more than that because I was listening to her and then I was listening to him. But I don't follow names, but I went to an abortion clinic with my cousin one time. This was years ago now. And you would have thought that it was certain races there, but it was literally more of them there than it was of us. And I went as moral support for her. I was so surprised because they never put stuff like that in the media that they go have abortions at high rates like that. So for me to see that personally was surprising to me.
Okay, well, let me.
It's just like Martin was saying a little while ago. People walking around and they don't know that they don't know. I didn't know that they have abortions at that rate like that because I was taught the same thing, that it was something put in place to control the birthing and stuff like that.
That's it. That's it.
People.
But let me say this, sister. Hold on a minute. I'm gonna let you talk. Every abortion clinic, majority of the abortion clinics are in the black and brown communities.
Of course.
That's documented. That's where they at. And that's not by mistake either.
Yeah, you're right. Because the one that I went to with my cousin was up north in their neighborhood. But like you said, most of them are. You'll be surprised at some literally right in the thread of our neighborhood that people wouldn't even know about.
But let me just say this to you, sister. White people are not getting pregnant as they're not replacing. They dying more than they having birth. That's facts. That's facts. Trust me. Some of them have to take fertility pills in order to get pregnant. I'm telling you, that's facts.
I agree with you.
That's facts. Now, don't get me wrong.
About how they have abortion.
A white woman can get pregnant, and if she doesn't want her baby, honey, she can get paid so much through the adoption process.
Of course.
They're going to be like, oh, she need to care for this. Oh, she need to care for that. Some of them let the girls come stay and live with them until they have their baby. They have open adoption with the baby. You see what I mean? They do a lot, you know, and like, I have a mixed family, and it's like the white women would be like more so, you made a mistake. So what? You made a mistake. It's unfortunate you got pregnant and you made a mistake. It's like, if you get pregnant, you made a mistake. You did an abortion because when you get married, you want to have children with your husband. You don't want to come into a marriage with another man's children. And so that's when they go in and they get their abortions. They're not trying to be walking around a baby mama. You see what I'm saying?
Well,
Trust me, I know that's why I'm sitting here telling you. I saw so many of them out there.
Mama was a baby mama before she married Joseph.
Yeah. Well, let me just say,
she was a young black single mom.
Can we all agree on this? That we think different than white people. We think different. We do things different than white people. And
that's
when
almost inevitable.
I mean, but listen, but why we do this? I learned this from you, Marcus. When we say something is ghetto, what is we comparing it to? White people. Because we're comparing our standards to white people. That's what we're doing. You know, the way white people do business. Hold on, sister, let me talk. I know, but I'm just saying. Hold on. Like when we go do business. Now, the white people say the customer's always right. And the only reason why they say that because they spending the money. But we know that's a lie. That is a lie. But in the rule of business, that's the truth. But that's a lie. I hate to say it. I don't want to sound like a hypocrite or double standard, but we think different, people. We operate different. Our bodies are different. Our genes are different, people. Our shapes are different. Everything is different.
And the reason why we have these health problems is because we are different. We are different from them. But we eat, they set the standards on everything that we do in this country, from fashion to food. And we'll eat what they say is right to eat.
No, we changed our diets with you know, the behavior. You know what I mean? my grandparents and my parents, you know, you had the meatless Monday. You know what I mean? You have fish on Friday. You know what I'm saying? They
That's
had
still
a
today.
standard to what they would eat. They didn't do a lot of McDonald's and outside food, you know.
But the food that we ate, I mean, we ate pork for years and high blood pressure. I remember,
Big killer.
yeah, I remember one time I was cleaning out a house, apartment. It was this man in the wheelchair. I know he dead by now. His feet were swole. He was big. He barely can move, and they was feeding him all that pork. I mean, you could tell he was just all messed up medically, if I may say that. And I'm saying, don't get me wrong, people out there, I'm not saying pork is super bad. If that's all you got to eat, eat it. That's all. But for those of us that can do better, we should be able to do better. And me personally,
But
I don't.
you know, even that's design.
Right.
That came from them giving the work to the slaves, and we made the best of it. So it ended up becoming recipes that we passed from one generation to the next, learning how to cook hallmarks and neck bones and all of this stuff that was given to us after they took everything they wanted off of the, you know, the stock or the cow or whatever you want to call it.
Pig.
So
Yeah.
we learned to make the best of that and even created recipes that were never any good for us because it was never intended to be good for us. But we made the best of it, and then from there, all type of diseases that's related to diet and stuff started to take over, and even that became by design
Yeah.
because they weren't going to give us the best of what they wanted.
Yeah.
They threw whatever was left to the slaves. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
So all of that is just, it comes from history.
Old
And people
time.
need to understand how that's all a part of history.
Old timer, you still on the live? Old timer, he's still there? Yeah, he's still here. Listen,
Yeah,
y'all.
yeah, I'm still there. Yeah.
Listen to this. Listen to it. Tell me if y'all agree with this or not. This the only time ever in history where you got the poorest folks. They bigger than the rich folks. They outweigh the rich folks. They heavy. Why is that? Somebody answer that question. This the only time ever in history where people that got the less money, less
Sugar.
everything, and they weigh more than the people that got the money. What's up with that?
Sugar.
Can y'all feel me?
Sugar,
What I'm trying?
Martin.
Huh?
Sugar.
Is that what that is? I don't know what it is. Listen.
It's definitely sugar.
Well, I'll say this.
It's the
Never-
white potatoes, it's the sodas.
I said bad foods, food like substance.
Absolutely.
Because how can a poor person that's poor weigh more than a person that's eating healthy and all that and all that? Something that's not right.
Because a poor person has a poorer diet. Okay, you're gonna if you have a low amount of income, you're gonna go and you're gonna get what's on the McDonald's menu. You're not gonna go to Panera Bread and get a salad. You see what I'm saying? You're like, I could get a whole lot of food for $10. Why should I go get a salad? You know, you may not even have 10. You may only have 4. You see what I mean? And so you eat what you can afford, and it's cheaper for you to go to McDonald's and buy a meal than it is for you to go to the grocery store and buy ground beef, a loaf of bread, a bag of potatoes. Hell, cooking oil is $9.99,
listen.
like you put it in your tank.
But
so.
guess what? That's why we run around here with high blood pressure, diabetes,
Yes.
fever, colds, and that's why we run around here with all this. I've seen mothers, and I got to tell the ladies and parents, flaming hot with that old ground beef been sitting up 8 hours on a crock pot, cheese, that old cheddar cheese,
Oh,
whatever
God.
type of cheese, put it in a bag of chips, and kids eating that for, well, not kids, children eating that for breakfast. Come on, what kind of
Oh, no.
oodles and noodles? Plastic. That's plastic. Come on, that's plastic, people. What are we feeding our children? And we wonder why
What
they
is
acting
the
up.
economic situation?
No, it is not.
Martin?
Hold on. Not with everybody. Not with everybody. Listen, not with everybody. Listen, not with everybody. Everybody ain't poor. If you go down some of these black communities, they got $20,000 and $30,000 cars. Ain't no poor people driving no $20,000, $30,000 car. They can't feed themselves no sandwich. Shame on them. Shame on them.
Yeah.
It
We
ain't
got
even about what type of car. A lot of them get linked and EBT. You know, so they got the money to buy the food.
Yeah, they got the money.
True.
They buying dope and alcohol. So they got money.
Well, that's
It will sell it.
that's
He said
true.
that weed.
and we have a different type of diet.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if you listen to some people that have been around a lot of Caucasians, they'll tell you Caucasians eat a little bit of this, a little bit of that, where we eat a whole lot of spaghetti, a whole lot of greens, and different things like that.
Yeah,
Emphasize
some people are
everything.
emotional eaters, and we are living in traumatic situations in our communities. So you still have people that are emotional eaters. You see what I mean?
I was talking about where we don't see nothing wrong with it.
That's why they call it comfort food. You're right. We know something wrong with it. We just,
Yeah.
like I was saying earlier, it's just been passed down from one generation to the next.
You know, and a lot of moms now feel like my baby can't go outside because of all the violence. At least they can have, you know, all the snacks they want because they can't go out. You know, you know, they can't go run out and play for hours and hours. Like, you know, when I was little, my mother used to be like, you come to this door, you come in again, you're going to stay here. You know, that's how long we could play outside. Because if you keep running in and out, you don't want to stay in the house. These children now, they can't go out and play.
Well, they can, depending on what neighborhood. Yeah, but it depends on where you live at. Depending where you live at. You know, if you live in the Alsip, you can go out. If you live in the Oak Forest, Orland Park, Blue Island, you can go outside.
I lived in Morgan Park during the 80s.
Yeah, but you can go out. You can go outside, but right now you can go downtown and get killed. So I mean, it's everywhere now.
Right, anywhere.
It's everywhere now. So you could be sitting at the dinner table.
And also, Martin, when we was coming up, you didn't have a dialysis center on every corner.
No.
No, you didn't.
That was
I
rare.
never seen a dialysis center as a child.
Listen,
I didn't know what no dialysis center was as a kid.
These white folks are not trying to heal us. They looking for customers. They're not looking for cures. They want to put you on a lifetime of medicine. Think, people, a lifetime of medicine.
Medicine itself a key.
It kill you. It will kill you. People, how long do you think that we could keep taking all this poisonous food and put it in our body and expect to be in good health? Come on, eventually it's going to break this body down. All this information in the body and stuff. All this bad water that we're drinking, pop, Pepsi, all this junk. It's just no good for us. No good for us.
They put chemicals in the drinking water.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. I've been guilty of it.
Yeah. But listen.
Well, I mean, all these things are facts. Live, uncut.
Live uncut. Yeah, that's it. But people
enjoy this.
To tell us what we're going to do when gas $10 by September.
Listen, Willie Wilson tried to warn us. Y'all didn't listen. Everybody was making fun of Willie giving gas out. Now listen, y'all wish he would do another gas giveaway now. I'm telling you, everybody was making fun of Willie Wilson.
I would have signed that contract to get a constant gas rate of $2.74 for 5 years.
Yeah. Listen.
When they get the stimulus money back, then the prices will go down. They're just getting their stimulus money back. That's what they're doing.
Yeah,
it's called New World Order.
And they're paying for the war over there in Ukraine. They're paying for the war. They're taxing us on the gas. They taxing.
My daddy used to say, "Ain't no such thing as a free meal or a free nothing." So he right.
Yeah, that's true.
Every fiber in my being, and I don't know about y'all, but it's like every hair on my arm stands up sometime when I think about how dependent I am on this system, how dependent I am to go to work and for that check to come and everything to be as it is. If they shut it down, I will have to run to the South to Mississippi, to my family's, acres, and start eating whatever's available. You see what I mean? We are so dependent. Whereas back in the day, we had people in the South, and we had chickens, we had, fruit, vegetables on the farm. Somebody had a farm in the family.
Well, guess what, people? Let me say this, sister. Guess what? They control the food now. They showed us during the pandemic. them trucks in during the
Some
George
say
Floyd
now,
riot.
They've been controlling.
Yeah, they've been controlling food. So they got control of that. A white man told me that about 10 years ago. I was at the flea market in Robbins, Illinois. And he told me,
Only 1% of ranchers are black.
hold on, sister. The white man told me, he said, Martin, there'll never be a revolution. I said, you know, I'm black power. And he was like, I said, well, why you say that? He said, because we control the food. I just shut up and walked away. I said, my, I never looked at it like that. So, I'm telling all my rich black people out there, let me say it to all my rich and educated and famous black people. When are we going to get some natural resources, such as some land, some water, some electricity, some oil, some diamond mines, some gold mines? When are we going to be in the trade market? What do we have that they need beside us, our labor, and putting us in jail or making us dance for them or entertain them? What are we good for on this face of the earth?
Maybe that could be a part of reparations, like they made Israel a state. Israel didn't exist until the United States helped it exist. Maybe they can, maybe as a reparation contract, we could get a piece of land to live on with those resources.
Yeah. Well, I don't think that's going to be given to us.
Do y'all
Yeah, this been interesting.
for freedom?
Yeah, this been interesting, brother Martin. I have to say.
For freedom.
Yeah.
America
But not-
made those slave masters. That's the part of history ain't talking about. That's why they struggling with giving us reparations. They gave it to the slave masters. That war did not free us.
We're not free now. We made free to walk around.
That's what I mean.
Free to walk around.
I mean, being black is a crime in America.
Yeah. And y'all listen.
Look at how they did Juneteenth.
You know what though? But look, I mean, you got to look at too though. Look at those parades that they have. When they have the Columbus Day parade, when they have the Irish Day parade, when they have the Italian parade, when they did have it, all of the Caucasian parades, they celebrate and they be out there. We basically got one parade. That's the Bud Billigan parade.
And they trying to
And
stop
we don't
that.
want to have it.
But wait a minute, look at what I just said. Look at how they did Juneteenth. You didn't. It's crazy how it took 2020 and George Floyd for so many black people to even learn what Juneteenth was. They had no idea what that even meant.
Well,
and now that they celebrated it and all of that, everybody's capitalizing off of it. They got Juneteenth ice cream, Juneteenth everything you could think
But let me say
crazy.
something, sister. Let me say something. Whose fault is that? Because we didn't know. It's our fault. We have to teach our children.
course.
Anytime we send our children to another race of people to teach our children, that's on us. That's on us. Like Marcus said today, only poor people send their children to public school.
We're all Chicagoans, right? How many of you know about the 1919 race riots in Chicago?
A lot of us know about that. I know about it. But a lot of us
didn't know
know it.
about it till college.
Well, I mean, whose fault is that? Your parents should teach you, educate you. You know, you can't expect a system of white supremacy to teach you about your roots, and they're not going to do that. The only thing they're going to teach you that you was a slave, you was born a slave, and you came from Africa, and that's it. They ain't going to teach you about none of your success here in America, none of your inventions or anything. That don't matter. That belong to us. You know, that's what I'm saying. When you don't know, that you don't know. You know, as long as you... So listen, our average young people, they out here, and the older people, we don't love each other. I'm going back to it again. That's the biggest threat. We are afraid to love one another. That's what it is. That's not the drugs and all that. We are afraid to love one another. Every time somebody come up and say, I love you, here they go. Well, what do they want from me? What angle they coming from? We can't even accept the love. Because I love you, sister, that don't mean I want to go to bed with you or sleep with you. Brother, sister, mama, I don't want to move in with you. I love you because you're my brother, you're my sister. I'm happy to see you. I'm just generally speaking, people. That's how messed up we are. We messed up. We don't believe that nothing good can come from one another. That's what that is. We just don't believe it. Like the brother said, your ice is cold. The white man ice is colder than the black man.
Yeah, that's true.
And don't tell me black people are lazy, they don't want to work. You quit hiring them hypes and hire somebody that's sober and a reputable company, and you're going to get your job done right. Quit trying to cut corners. If you want your car fixed right, leave them hypes alone. And go to the shop, go to a reputable black company. If you want your grass cut, go to a reputable black company. Don't go get the neighborhood hype and complain about, I'm trying to help black people. No, you're trying to help yourself and can't cut corners. That's what you're trying to do. I got to tell the truth and what? Shame the devil. Got to tell the truth. And shame the devil. I got to tell the truth.
Martin don't tell it like it is. That's why
Yeah, for real. You know, we always talking about black people. They every time I go to the beauty shop, they always talking. That's what we do. We talk. You know what I'm saying? The agents don't talk to you because they don't know English that well. They know enough English to get your money. They know that much.
When I go get my feet done, they be talking. I don't know what.
All right then. Hey, listen what I just said. They know enough to get your money. Trust me. They know just enough English to get our money. Anytime another race of people can come in our community, barely can speak the language. You know, if they barely can speak it, they can't read it, and they come in and get rich. Here we are, supposed to be educated, born here in America, but don't have no rights, no nothing. We fight. We at each other's throat for crumbs. I'm gonna give y'all another example. I'm gonna tell you what industry make more money than the weed industry. The slot machine industry. I think that's owned by 4 to 7 families. They make way more money than the weed industry, the marijuana dispensaries. The slot machine, they run it 24 hours a day.
Oh, yeah.
I'm telling you, people.
Okay.
We sleep on that. We are asleep. I'm gonna tell you this. My mentor Harold Davis told me. He said, Martin, if they tell us we don't got no skills, we can't build no house, but we can make it where they got to buy the materials from us. In order to build a house in our community, you got to buy the bricks from us. You got to buy the tile from us. You got to buy the plumbing from us. So since we don't have the skill, but we got the skill to sell. Come on, people. They running game on us. It's all trickery, people. It's trickery. I'm telling you. Listen, Mark Carter said it. He said white people know if they don't feed their children are going to eat them. And guess what? Our black children are not being fed, and that's why they're eating us, by carjacking us, breaking in our house, shooting and killing, stealing our guns, robbing us. That's why they want to eat too. But they're not eating, people. And Old Timer said it on one of my lives. He said, hey, when he leave out 3 o'clock in the morning, he see all types of animals out there fetching for their families. But he see the black man standing on the corner. Doing what? Wasting that beautiful present.
Been doing it for years.
Yes. This is real, people. The biggest threat, we got to start loving each other. We are afraid to love on each other. We're afraid. People, I'm sorry.
You right.
Hey, listen, I'm gonna let y'all say y'all last word. I'm gonna get off here. I'm gonna let each and every one of y'all want to say y'all final words, and I'm done after that. I'm not gonna let y'all whatever y'all want to say. It's okay with me, cause we all over the place today.
So, good, man, I enjoyed these sisters on tonight. These sisters have brought out some good knowledge, you know, and that's great, man. I think we should piggyback off of that and try to help our young men. If they need help, if we think they need help, we should try to help them. And I'm going to try to help as many as I can. But I do know I'm going to stick by this until I die. It's going to take hard work. And the Bible says you're going to earn it by the sweat of your brow. Now, it's good to use your brain, but if you don't have it up there, man, you're going to have to go by the way of the jackhammer, the saw, the steel saw, plumbing, and all those good jobs. Electrician, that's what it's going to take, man. We need to be gainfully employed and stop worrying about carrying all these guns and all this kind of stuff. Because when you carrying a gun, you automatically set up for somebody to just bump into you and say, man, what you want to do? What you want to do? So you ain't scared of nothing. You know, so you need to have a different mindset and have a better outlook and a brighter outlook for yourself. Because ain't no 18 and 19-year-old person got no business riding behind no jail because they went out there and did something with a gun. Now that's just I'm gonna stand on that. I think they got more for their life to give, but being in jail and doing things and taking people's cell phones and stuff, you know, I think we much better than that.
I agree. Next caller, who? Y'all.
Well,
I'm gonna say this.
Go ahead, Woody.
Go ahead.
Marcus, go ahead. Well,
Okay, I'm gonna say this. The older people, not all older people are misguiding the young people, but there are some older people that teach these young people to do these evil things because they don't know no better themselves. Get your act together and use the power to guide these young people in the right direction. The activists, the school teachers, the preachers, the police officers, politicians, including us talking, we can't do this by ourselves. We can't come into your household and raise your children. Teach your children left from right. Don't depend on a school system that's controlled by white supremacists to teach them how to eat and feed themselves. They're not going to teach them what they're teaching their kids. And Martin, keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you, sir. Next caller.
So I was going to say, I think, like I said before throughout this whole podcast, that we do have to do stuff at home within our own communities. None of us need a blueprint on how to be a parent. We all learn as we go, so nobody's perfect. But I just think we should do what we can as we learn and as we grow and educate ourselves. If you messed up when you was 20, if you're 25, do better now. Or when you messed up when you were 25 and you're 30 now, do better now. But one of the things that I do in the Black community, because I'm one person, I can't do everything. I usually, a lot of times when I go to different businesses where there's young Black employees, I tip them even if they didn't serve me. If I go in there, I'll literally go to the gas station and come back and tip them. And when I come back, I tell them, I said, you appreciate your job. And when they tell me yeah or whatever they say, I say, you know what, here's a tip for just being one of the people who defy any statistics that have been said against you, because you are a Black young person working. So, you know, a lot of them are very grateful, and I try to do that as an encouragement. It's not a really big thing, but that's just something I do as being encouraging to our Black youth. Because all of them ain't out here doing what everybody's saying they're doing. So when I see them doing right, I try to tip them the best way and give them the encouragement that I can. So I just think, again, it starts with us making sure we're encouraging each other in our communities. And if we wasn't the best parent, trying to become a better parent or whatever it is we need to do to try to make our communities heal within ourselves. And then we can go further from there. And again, like he said, you keep doing what you're doing, Martin. I love following you.
Thank you.
Tell it real, like you say, raw, uncut, unedited, and I love that.
Thank you, sister. Thank you. Next caller.
I want everyone to have an emergency plan. Make an emergency plan with your family. You know, if COVID has taught you anything, it should be to have an emergency plan. Don't be too proud to go to the food pantry, stack that food up. It's perilous times. You know what I mean? It's not just about the gun violence. The world is violent, period. You don't know what's going to come of this. So make sure you make an emergency plan with your family so that if anything was to happen, that you know where to meet up, get together, and things of that sort. And that's all I got to say about that.
All right, thank y'all. I'm going to hang up on y'all. Thank y'all so much. All right, people, that was it. This live, uncut, unedited. Thank y'all for tuning in. I enjoyed the show, even though we was all over the place. Appreciate y'all for the comments, all the comments in the messenger. Thank you so much. People, we need to do better. We're learning. Don't be so hard on yourselves. Remember, the biggest threat to the Black community is loving on each other, loving ourselves. And once we conquer that threat, Drugs won't be a problem. Gang banging won't be a problem. Shooting people won't be a problem. None of those things will be a problem. Trust me. It won't be. We'll be trying to go to the moon like the white folks. We'll be all over this place. I appreciate y'all. This is live, uncut, unedited. Thank y'all for your comments. Thank you for your prayers and your well wishes and your donations. Thank you so much. But y'all know I love black people. I love being black. Black love, black power, black unity. Race first. And love yourself, people. And if anybody got a problem with you saying you love being black, that's not your friend. That's your enemy. All right, people. Y'all know what it is. You already know what it is. Live, uncut, unedited. You already know what it is.